In the last 3 years, Nissan stock has collapsed. And I mean, it's down big time. If you had invested in them 3 years ago, well, you would have lost a hell of a lot of money, especially if you include inflation. However, it's still overvalued. If you look at Nissan's current price to earnings ratios, it's actually higher than almost every other automaker in the world that they're competing with, except for Tesla and BYD. It could have a long way further to go yet. Nissan sales have collapsed in the United States this year. Nissan, they have a reason for it. I'm not buying their reason because their sales in Europe have done the same thing. In fact, Nissan is in big trouble no matter how you look at it. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. I'm the Electric Viking. And let's get straight to it. Let's point out the first positive for Nissan. They only have $31 billion of debt. Still, it's a lot of debt. And considering the fact that more than 95% of their global car production right now are gasoline-powered vehicles, which, well, clearly are not the future of the automotive industry, then that debt actually starts to take on a bit of concern. But what's much more concerning for Nissan are their current vehicle sales in, well, two of their three biggest markets in the world. Yes, America, United States, and Canada are very, very important to Nissan, and so is Europe. Unfortunately, it looks as though their sales are on a permanent slide, and no matter what their excuses are, that's a big problem. Now, if you think Tesla's shares have tanked, well, they've got nothing, and I mean nothing on Nissan. 3 years ago, Nissan's stock price was sitting at around $21. Today, it's sitting at $6. $21 3 years ago. Today, $6. You can see investors are very concerned about what is going on right now at the company. In the US, Nissan sales are down more than 25% this year. They say it's because of chip shortages and other kinds of chaos, and I don't know, they're full of excuses. After a sputtering start to the decade, Nissan Group's US market fortunes actually showed signs of a recovery in 2021, but it was short-lived. Last year, the Japanese automaker's US sales tumbled 25% as the industry grappled with tight inventories and faced a new threat of softening demand in a slowing economy where a significant percentage of customers actually want an electric vehicle. Nissan division sold 682,000 vehicles in 2022, a decrease of 26% from 1 year earlier, where sales were also down as well. However, Infiniti sales decreased by 20% to 46,600 last year. I'm talking about 2022 here, by the way. So Nissan in the United States is down 26%. Infiniti are down 20%. In the fourth quarter, Nissan Group sales dipped 2%. Now, of course, Nissan blamed chips, as everyone does. It's the convenient excuse. I'm sure when they go bankrupt, they'll blame chips as well. There won't be enough chips around to eat, fries. Yeah. Anyway, you get the point, right? It's been years. It's time to stop blaming chips and to start just taking responsibility for the decisions you make. Here's what Nissan said. We are doing great on supply of the core vehicles, but we were short on our smaller vehicles, the Sentra, Kicks, Versa. Sentra sales were down 40% for the year, Kicks was down 34%, and Versa was down 78%. Now, I've had a look at those three cars, and maybe it's not the chips. I'm not a big fan of them. What do you think? Let me know. Now, Nissan said that Nissan dealers are bullish on the company. We're seeing long-term minded sales policies rather than short-term in the arm that damage the brand. When, well, honestly, I have to disagree. What's Nissan's long-term electric vehicle policy? And that, to me, would show the future of the brand. Well, investors think it's not all that good, as you can see by the stock price decline or crash that I just shared with you. Turbulence is ahead, though. The new year brings additional headwinds for Nissan and the industry. Inflation threatens to bite into demand for big-ticket purchases such as crossovers. Meanwhile, as pandemic-era supply chain shortages dissipate, the industry dials up production, the hefty dealership margins could come under pressure. I mean, if you think about it, if sales go down, you need to make more margin to just not fire your staff. Wheeler said Nissan is committed to holding the line at a 46-day supply chain at 45-day supply as inventories improve. We don't want to go over that, Wheeler said. Now, if you have a look at Europe, well, it's much worse for Nissan in Europe, which used to be a massive place of sales for them. It used to be their second biggest market in the world. In fact, in 2017, Nissan sold 570,000 vehicles in Europe. However, in 2021, that number had declined to 259,000. In fact, they'll sell even less vehicles in Europe this year. That figure should be approximately 200,000, meaning in only space of only 5 years, sales will have gone from over 560,000 to around 200,000. And that is a very, very fast, precipitous decline. That decline will only be sped up because Nissan isn't making enough electric cars. Realistically, consumers in Europe, as you can see by the dominance of the Tesla Model Y in most car markets in Europe, well, they want EVs. Look, the Model Y was the best-selling car, period, in the UK in December. In fact, it was almost the equal best-selling car, regardless of powertrain, in the UK. What about Germany? Well, we're seeing a similar story there. Norway, Model Y was the best-selling car in history. What about Spain? It was first there as well. Now, this list goes on. I'm not going to bore you, but the point here is, yeah, Nissan's making a few EVs, but it's still only a very small percentage of their overall production. Consumers in Europe want mass production of EVs, so do governments. Nissan just isn't in a position to do it. Personally, I'm not saying the company's going to go bankrupt within the next few years, but if you're looking to a 10-year horizon, well, things are going to be very rocky. I wouldn't want to be a shareholder there. Those are my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comments. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.